All right, y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to the Just Absolutely Boxing Podcast. This is the 80th episode. I'm Combo Breaker 99.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Boxing P.
Can you believe it's 80 episodes, man?
We 80 deep, man. I'm still in the game,
Yeah,
No turning back.
for real, man. And just want to say, hope everybody had a good holiday out there. I know I did. What about you, P?
Yeah, man. I had a good one. Ate like crazy, but it was all good.
Dude, I ate that one day. I was about to die. I was like, I ain't that crazy in a while either. You know, it was just like,
And I'm not the type of person that like to be stuffed, but
Me too.
it was just so many different dishes. I didn't have a lot. I just had a lot, different samples of everything, but it still added up to be a lot, man. And I was like miserable. I hate that feeling, but it was worth it.
oh yeah, it was like, we had the basics, but I ate a lot of the basics, so I was a little stuffed. So, and throughout the year, I've been trying not to eat too much, so this was something new on my stomach. So it put me out, man. I was in like that turkey coma.
Yeah, I was tight.
For real, man. But I'm working it off though, man. But yo, man, it's another fight weekend we got coming up, man. Probably, I say it's the biggest heavyweight fight, but it's probably the biggest fight of the year. What do you think? Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, that is.
Yeah, I mean, according to the way things are in the game right now, yeah, you can say that it's pretty much the biggest fight we had, this year. Two literally big guys, and then, just a big fight for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it definitely is because, I mean, once you go back and look, of course, the history behind this fight, this fight was made because we didn't get Wilder AJ,
Right.
Wilder Josh, but that fight didn't happen. So, Wilder, he went and looked for the next best thing. And, Tyson Fury, he wanted to reclaim his lineal status. So he wanted to come back in and he said he'll give him the fight. So, I mean, that's all we could really ask for. The second best fight, it might just be the best fight. Because once you think about it, skill-wise, Tyson Fury, he talks a big game. And, as far as a boxer, we haven't really seen anything like him before.
Yeah.
I'm still not hung up on him. Like some people saying he's the best. Now I'm saying he's different, but he ain't the best, but I'm saying he's something different. I give him that. Like he's elusive, fast hands, but still something, that needs to be proven about him,
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely believe that we see him do things that we haven't seen a guy that size be able to do. His nimbleness, his quickness, to be a guy that size. I mean, he's a big man, don't get it twisted. He's a big guy, but he moves really well. And then there's just that gypsy background, that, bare knuckle fighting background. It's some toughness there, it's some things there that we may have never seen before really in the ring. And I mean, another thing you got to realize too, most people didn't think he would beat Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a fight that he is motivated for. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's motivated for this fight. And I think it's going to turn out to be a pretty good fight. And I mean, I wasn't really big on it when they made it because it was a lot of letdown from the AJ thing. But, as time went on, and not even really, it's really because it's this weekend and I'm just a boxing fan. Because, I mean, to be honest, and there's been like a lot of WWE
build up. Yeah.
Swag to the promotion of this fight or whatever. But being it's this weekend, I am kind of looking forward to just seeing what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm the same way. For me, I'm just ready. The more and more we get close to it, that's when I get hyped for it. Like when they get to the ring and then that first bell rings, that's when I get hyped for it. But like a lot of the press conference, the press tour, none of that was really doing anything for me. It was a lot of WWE antics, and a lot of this stuff is scripted. I mean, we know that Wilder and Fury, they don't really have like a hate for each other. They both have like a competitiveness in them that make them want to one up the other, especially when it comes to the talking, whatever it is that, Wilder says, Fury, he wants to come back with something, but we all know they're not really at each other's throats. They want to try to build this up as something big. But I mean, it's already big in itself because, the heavyweight division, you have two of the biggest guys in there right now putting on about to put on one of the best fights. So I can't really say that all the antics were really any help for me. I just want to see a good fight, you know? And like going back to like you were saying, like even with Deontay Wilder, we never really seen a guy like him in the ring, you know, tall, real slim, but he packs this deadly power in one punch, you know?
Crazy right hand.
And he's very unorthodox. Then I think putting his style with somebody like Fury, that just makes something even bigger than what the Klitschko Fury fight was. So both ways, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup, man.
Yeah, I mean, and definitely the one big difference in the Klitschko and Fury fight is, I mean, you got two guys closer to age, and that makes a big difference to me. You know what I mean? Klitschko, I mean, still a great champion, you know, dominated the heavyweight division for a long time, but you know, nobody beats Father Time, and we know he was getting to the end of his career. So this fight is two young guys, you know what, 3 years difference in age, you know, heavyweight champion, U.S. champion, you know, heavyweight from the UK. It's a lot of different dynamics that makes it an interesting fight. And then, like you say, you know, just the styles. I mean, Tyson Fury with that erky jerk style. That's a style we haven't really seen a big man be able to do and be able to do it good. And Tyson Fury kind of, you know, works that erky jerk style, then leaps in with you know, a punch. So it's gonna be interesting, man. The closer, you know, being it's this weekend for me.
Now, looking at, did you get a chance to watch both the All Access? I just like crammed them in last night.
I seen the first part. Oh, did I see the second part? What really happened on the second part? I can't remember.
The second part, they just kind of went into more training. You know, they just showed a little bit more of the training.
When Wilder was swimming?
Yeah.
That was
okay. Yeah, that was the second one. Yeah. And they kind of talked a little bit more about, you know, Tyson Fury and his mental state, you know, the first time, you know, he, you know, won the crown. But I guess a question for me is just like, for somebody like Tyson Fury, whenever he said that when he won the Klitschko fight, he felt he reached his peak. You know, and there was nothing else. That's what kind of led to his drinking and drugs, you know, the food, that whole binge. You know, he just kind of said that was it for him. Do you think if he was to win this fight, any of that would change?
I personally think it's a difference in this fight, in that fight, in this, and you know, in this particular way, because you know, it's probably was years that Tyson Fury was looking up at Klitschko, you know, idolizing him, plotting, you know, thinking in different ways, you know, if I ever get my chance to do this, I'm gonna really do it, you know what I mean? And that's a lot of motivation, you know, watching a guy dominate a division for a long time the way, you know, Klitschko did. You know, it was kind of legendary status, you know, so that win right there and being the first guy who did it in how many years, Ant?
Shoot, I want to say his reign was almost 10, 11.
Yeah, I mean, he had lost before, but it had been a long time since we seen, you know, him lose a fight. And he just had, you know, simple weapons, nothing special, you know, just, you know, pawn, setting up the jab, right hand, you know what I mean? But he dominated the division with that style. And I just think it was a bigger win, to make a long story short, and you know what I mean, in that aspect of things, you know what I mean? Wilder, it's still question marks about Wilder. If he wins, people, I told you so. I knew it was, you know what I mean? There'll be a lot of this, that, and the third. But Klitschko, that didn't exist. His resume was proven. You know, he was proven to be legit.
Yeah, he was the man at that time.
Yeah, the man. You know,
and I guess
the man, you got to beat the man. And Klitschko happened to be the man at that time. Wilder is still fighting to be the man.
Yeah, which is, I think it's possible that it can be done that way too, but it's a lot harder, man. You know, for somebody like Wilder, like, you have to keep beating guys and beating names, and just keep proving yourself over and over. But sometimes I think we kind of we make it a little too easy on guys like Tyson Fury. You know, you beat one guy and that's it. And that's kind of how how his mental state was when he did it. You know, he beat him and then he was like, that was it.
Yeah, and that goes back to me saying, like, if you've been, you know, watching a guy and you build up, you know, all this, I don't even know what to say against, you know, in the boxing world, what the feeling would be, but once you climax, then I mean, it's like anything, and you climax.
Yeah.
You know, when you climax, the first thing you don't think about is doing that again necessarily. You like,
that's it.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Most of the time you're like, ugh, that wasn't even work. That was whack. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, just looking at it from that perspective, like being he was 26 years old, he's a young, he might have been 25 at that time.
Yeah.
To do something like that, you know.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing.
That's what I'm about to say. Yeah, he did it at like 27, 26. So
it's the biggest thing you could do in boxing, being a heavyweight, beat the man.
Beat the heavyweight champion. Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a lot of accolades that came along with that, and a lot of stuff that people probably don't really realize. I mean, people might have been looking at him as a next great white hope. So that win was bigger than it would be for maybe another race. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? We don't know, but that was a huge win for him. I mean, I'm not condoning getting on drugs and all the stuff he did, but when he says that I didn't see myself going any higher than that, I could relate to that, because some people set goals, and being a heavyweight champ, the goal is to become, being a heavyweight fighter, the goal, what's bigger than really becoming a champ? The champ is not necessarily saying, I want to defend the title for 10 years. It's attaining the belt.
And that's it. Sometimes,
you know what I mean? Yeah, some people say, I want to be great. I want my legacy. I want to defend, but some people, that's it.
Right. And that was kind of like, I think, at his age, that was just his mind state.
Immature kid.
Yeah.
Winning something that huge. He probably didn't even really realize what he had done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, because I just go back and look at it all the time, and then looking at it on All Access, him bringing it up, then I was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of what we be talking about. Sometimes whenever a fighter wins the belt, they don't understand that you have to defend it. You know what I mean? Like, they don't understand as a champion, to build legacy, you have to defend it.
Yeah. And and the difference can be too, and these guys will be the guy who got a vacant belt and feel that way. How could you be satisfied with that? You know what I mean? Like I say, at least Tyson did beat the man that it was the man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because you snag any belt out there, you shouldn't feel like, yo,
that's what
I'm about to go mentally crazy. You know what I mean? No, it was it's different. Scenarios for things, but we do get that a lot though. And some of these guys, I just want a belt. I don't care which one it is, anyone, and that's my goal. My goal was to become a world champion. I've done that.
Yeah.
But the boxer is twofold though, because a lot of sports, you can, Super Bowl, you got to defend that crown next year. You know what I mean? Yeah, you got to defend, basketball, the world champions, they got to.
You only that champion for that year. So every year you got to go back and prove that. It's the same with in boxing. But the thing is, in boxing, if you lose, who knows if you'll get that chance again versus somebody like the NBA. They kind of, a team is still guaranteed to try again. But, in boxing, you lose, you might just disappear sometime, depending on how you lose too,
Yeah, but the one thing they can never take away from you is you won a championship.
True.
That's in the books. That's words. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might not have a belt. You might not have a ring to prove, but that's in the books that you were, a champion or whatever. But of course, and being a fan, we want to see people in our sport get the belt and defend it. If you just want to get the belt from a fan's perspective, why would we be interested in that?
Yeah. I'm glad you were able to accomplish what you wanted to, but it's like, what I mean? But it's like hardcore fans, we want to see what you can do with it. Yeah,
because once we see you win the belt, we saying, oh shit, okay, well, he was able to do that, well then he need to match up with that. We already matched you up with somebody else the second you win. It ain't, we not like, yo, good, take a year off. No, we
this
ready.
Is the beginning. Yeah, this is the beginning. Exactly.
That's the mind of a fan. And I'm keep bringing it up, and because I'm definitely a boxing fan and want people to understand from that being a boxing fan's perspective too. You know what I mean? Because it's different. Some people will say being a diehard boxing fan. Some people are casual fans. They could care less about any of these differences or whatever. But for us being diehard boxing fans, and we look at all that stuff. You know, a guy wins the belt. We setting up your next fight. We want to know what's next. It's not, you know, you did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the end of the road. No, the end of the road is when you retire, you know, and that's how we see it. You know, I mean, there's, we just feel like every other fighter should see it that way, you know, but they don't all the time.
And I mean, it should be a gray area. Win the belt, it should be a minimum three title defenses, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at least against credible guys.
Against credible guys.
Against credible guys,
like they say, you're not a champion until you defend it once. I love that saying because it at least put one stamp on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? At least put one stamp. I mean, I know there's people going, you know, beg to differ with that. Shit, I won the belt. I'm a champ. I don't care what y'all say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd be like, okay. I mean, yeah, you are holding the belt, but I mean, that's what I like how some people call it just a belt holder versus champion sometimes. Because a champion, you know, they proven it by beating a legit guy.
Exactly.
And they, you know, defended against some legit guys. But sometimes they refer to guys as just belt holders.
Yeah.
Guys that are just keeping it warm for the champion when he whoop your ass. Exactly. You know? So that's how you can kind of look at it. And that's why I want to ask you about Tyson Fury. Like, does his lineal status really hold today, man? Like, the way he says it. Like, even the way other fans see it. They think this is the legit guy that beat the man, which was 3 years ago. Like, can he still stand on that leg, man?
I mean, other people would be able to stand on it. And then we gotta be realistic. We talking about a sport where 6 months makes a difference. A year makes a difference. You know, you talking about 3 years, that makes a difference. That you cannot hold that status, in my personal opinion, for 3 years because the game has changed in 3 years. You know what I'm saying? A lot of pawns in the game have shifted. You know, the chessboard. You know, couple people done got crowned in 3 years while you was you know, sitting back. So, you know, they got to do something about that, Ant. You know, I mean, he had legitimate reasons that he considers legitimate, but
he can only hold on to it for so long.
Yeah, I mean, and they're legitimate to him. Some people will say, that's you. That's your problem. That don't have nothing to do with, you know, the belt. The sport goes on regardless of what you're going through. You know what I mean? Because some people going to look at that stuff and say, yo, that was an excuse.
Yeah.
You was a drug addict. You was an alcohol. That's the, you know, some people looking at it that way. And everybody's not eating up that story.
And that's what's going to bring me to the one thing. This is what I want to say, too, is that you may have not lost the belt to anybody, but you lost it to your greatest enemy, which is you.
It's yourself, yeah.
You know, that's what people say. And I mean, that's worse than, say, getting knocked out by Deontay Wilder, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, say, if you lost it to him at the time or something, that would have been more credible because you stepped up. But
yeah, it's a fight.
No, you reached the mountaintop, and then it was in your mentality to leave. So you were beat by yourself. You're your own worst enemy, man. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's why I say the lineal status, okay, it has an expiration date on. Okay, maybe it can last 6 months. Maybe it can last a year if you're thinking about coming back. But after 2-3 years, we got to move on, man.
Absolutely. Especially when, I mean, to be honest, his career was in limbo for a while. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, while other guys were coming along.
Like you say, Deontay Wilder motivated you to come back. Yeah. So had it not been what he said, or if that's true,
and what he was doing,
you know, we might not have seen you right now. So I mean, it's just, you know, I'm glad he came back. I mean, he looks great. You know, he lost a lot of weight. He looked like he motivated. You know, that's my thing. Go in there and fight. Don't go and lay down. You know, he a tough guy, Gypsy King, whatever. So I think he's gonna be in there trying to rumble, but that right hand, boy.
The right hand is the equalizer, boy.
That's so good, man.
Looking at Deontay Wilder, like the difference in between them as champions, like we already know Wilder's getting the hard road. Like it's going to take so many fights, you know, so many wars to prove that he's, you know, the rightful holder of his belt, you know. But why is it that people still don't want to hold, you know, they don't want to give him that credit, man? Like he's had over 7-8 title defenses now. You know, he's fought, you know, he's knocked out, you know, all of his opponents. And when you look at a guy like AJ, I mean, AJ has the Klitschko win, but what other wins does he have that make his record so much better than Wilder's, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you already know how I feel about that. And I don't think it's better than Wilder's. It's pretty much the same as Wilder's,
if anything,
or less.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got one powerful name on there. Okay, well, Wilder got more wins than you, so stuff start balancing out. You know what I mean? You got a win over a Klitschko who had lost already and who was definitely has seen better days. So with Wilder's 40 pretty much KOs, some of that stuff start balancing out in there. You know what I mean? And
that's what I'm thinking, because you KO'd over 40 heavyweights.
Yeah.
And I mean, the competition is just about the same as AJ's. You know, AJ's just got almost 20 wins. And I mean, like I said, they're the same. To me, they're the same level of guys.
yeah, he got double your record.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I just feel like Wilder is getting that road where that belt, I feel like if it goes into somebody else's hands, the fans, they're going to try to make it worth more. Because right now that he has it, they're not giving him the credit he deserves. But the day somebody beat him, they're going to give that guy all the credit in the world. And that belt's going to be gold, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like he's putting worth on it now with all the defenses he's taking. You know, Luis Ortiz and now Tyson Fury.
He's got double the fights you got. I mean, that got to be worth something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Double the fights, double the knockouts.
Yeah.
I mean, something got to balance out, you know, those resumes. And I mean, and like I say, to be honest, I think his is more impressive than, you know, AJ's. And of course, we know the politics behind why AJ is, you know, getting the spotlight that he's getting. But when you start talking about resumes, you can't even, that don't stand. That debate don't hold no weight.
Yeah.
Because the resumes are, you know, first of all, you can't even really go off the resume. But I mean, if you just look at the experience and what he's done and the amount of time he's done and compared to what AJ's done, it's just a better resume. It's not even up for debate, eh? I don't think it's up for debate.
They both need each other, but at the same time, I feel like Wilder, his resume holds a little bit more weight. You know what I mean? You got more belts over here because you were able to get those guys in the fights. You know what I mean? Because because of the money. You know, I just feel like that's the whole thing with AJ. Like, it's the same reason why people want to fight Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
They don't care if they lose. They just want that money, you know? That's why there's a lot of guys that want to risk fighting AJ just because of the money. But when it comes to being a legit champion, I just feel like even if he's holding one belt, Wilder still holds more weight than him.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, I mean, yeah. And you can't question.
Can't change my mind. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can't question that at all.
Exactly. Now, which brings me to this question too. Like, I was watching the last press conference before I came over, man, and I just busted out laughing because Tyson Fury said he asked like 50 people who Deontay Wilder was. He said only like 2 people knew. So Jim Gray was like, did you ask them if they knew who you were? And he was like, oh, yeah, they all knew me. And like the crowd busted out laughing, too, because I was like, how real do you believe that is, man?
We know Tyson Fury is the ultimate showman. You know, the thing is, he's right. People don't know Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
But they might not know him, but he's from the UK.
Yeah.
I'm from a whole other country.
Yeah.
You're a U.S. champion and they don't know you.
Right.
In New York.
Right. Yeah, that's what that's what I'll buy. Like, I'll believe they don't know both of you just because, you know, like you said, he's from the UK and but, you know, people aren't familiar with him either. But whenever he tries to say that everybody knows him, that's a damn lie.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Of course. But trying to just put that spin on that people don't know you in your own country. You know what I'm saying? Because you go to UK, it's going to be a total different thing. You know, Wilder got a lot of UK fans, but I'm sure Tyson Fury got more. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That was just funny because he was like, everybody knows, you know, only 2 people knew him.
But think about it though, Ant. Think about it though. Depending on where they were in New York, I mean, the Irish community, you know, I mean, different. He ain't saying he was in Harlem and they knew, you know what I mean?
Or Alabama.
Yeah.
You know.
So
and even then, the Alabama fans, they would know Tyson Fury of Deontay Wilder, you know.
You know, so I mean, it's possible that, you know, it's a big, diverse melting pot in New York, and you know, I mean, same way Conor McGregor walks around in New York. They know
Yeah.
him in New York. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Even though that's bigger, you
Yeah.
know, it's a little different. But I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if people knew him when I think about, you know, the big Italian and Irish and those big,
Yeah.
you know, cultures in New York.
But that's why I want to know now. Now I want to know the demographic he was asking.
Yeah,
you know, I want to know what the questions he was asking. You know,
That's
he
gonna
probably
make a difference.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
he didn't
saying?
say that. He
Like
didn't
I said,
say
he didn't go to Harlem accent.
Right.
No, he wasn't
Yeah.
in Brooklyn accent.
Exactly.
No, not at all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it probably didn't even happen, but, you know, just looking at all aspects of, you know, the sport, and I mean, it is a possibility that some people could know him just, you know, because they are gypsies or, you know, I mean, when I say Irish, I know he's not Irish, but they might resonate with that. You
Yeah.
know, connect with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, they're you know, pretty close.
Yeah,
you know, relatively
so-
close. So yeah, I would understand that they would lean more towards him than they would
Absolutely.
Wilder all day.
Absolutely.
But next question, man. What do you think? As far as like the mental with the, you know, the mental war with this fight, like we know beside, you know, outside of the antics, like do you feel like either one of them is in each other's heads now, like to some extent? Because
If anybody is in anybody's head, it's Deontay Wilder. And I'm gonna tell you why I feel that way. Ant. If Tyson Fury lose, it's not that big of a deal. If Wilder loses, it's gonna be more damaging for him to lose. You know,
right,
it's gonna be way more damaging for him to lose.
right,
You know, and not just because he's gonna lose his belt, but everything. You know, he's struggling right now, winning.
yeah,
He's struggling winning that.
Yeah.
You know, and I love Deontay Wilder. I'm a big fan. I mean, no disrespect, but he's struggling winning. What's going to happen if he loses?
mm-hmm.
So, you know, if anybody is in anybody's head, it's Deontay. I mean, you know, I would say Tyson Fury is in
Wilder's head.
Wilder's head because, you know, it's more pressure on Wilder to win, to be impressive, to perform. You know, Tyson can say, "Well, man, I just was mental. I just was in rehab. I just came off a 3." He got all the stuff set up already. If it don't go his way,
Yeah, yeah. And the one thing he kind of made me think too, what he was saying was like, okay, like I'm going in here, and if I beat Wilder, he'll become more of a name. You know, he was trying to say like, I go in here and beat Wilder. You know, Wilder will become more of a name now by me beating him because he said I was in the ring with him. You know.
oh for real,
Yeah, he was trying to put in perspective like that. Like, okay, Wilder's basically gonna have to kind of start from scratch again. He's gonna have to redefine himself, but at the same time saying, now that you got my name on your record, you know, people will know that you were in there with a legit guy.
Yeah.
So he's saying every little thing. I feel like where he's trying to get into his head, and I think to some extent he is in Wilder's head, man. Like, you know, I pick him to. I am, you know, kind of leaning. Well, I'll get to my prediction later, but I feel like to some extent he is in there because he just kind of has him out of character a little bit, you know. Like I said, antics aside, he's kind of had him, you know, speaking more loud about certain things that you really wouldn't hear him say before. But there's so much more riding on Deontay Wilder because
it is.
Because the fans, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that say they like Wilder, but they still come to see him lose. Their fans is trying to see him lose, man.
For sure. I mean, I'm sure he definitely got a lot of haters out there. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad because he don't even got a lot of supporters out there. But I know he got, you know, his share of haters. But you know, it's part of the game. And Deontay Wilder, you know, it's not like this is something he hasn't seen before as far as like a big stage. You know, you was in there with Ortiz, you been in there with some not big guys, but you know, where it was a lot riding on it. You know what I mean? He definitely didn't want to lose back then, and right now was not the time to lose because I mean he would start from scratch. I mean, kind of like he said, from on a lot of different levels too. You know, you know what I mean. So it's just knowing that, and you know, and knowing anything can happen, and I think the more pressure is on Deontay Wilder, and you know, just the thing about Tyson Fury, he's kind of like that Conor McGregor. He is that trash talker. Wilder he talks loud, but he's not really a good trash talker. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, Tyson Fury is witty. You know, he does. You know, he's a little better with words or whatever. So. I think he's winning in that department. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I say like when he kind of brings him out of character, because like when he starts, trying to get at Wilder's neck, saying things, Wilder's trying to come back with certain things.
And you
but
can't
it's not,
do it.
That's why I say like it's sometimes you just got to sit there and be like, let him have it.
That don't mean that. That wasn't the definite yes.
Right.
No, yeah.
Exactly. Because even like with the Floyd Conor thing, while McGregor, he's, walking around, prancing around. Floyd, he's just kind of sitting there,
Yeah.
He's still just kind of, he'll talk later, say the same things, but he's just kind of sitting there, he's not really feeding into the, trying to think of a witty comeback,
Absolutely.
Which is sometimes better,
Yeah, because, dude, you got to know your lane. And I mean, like Floyd Mayweather don't take a fight he can't win. Okay, that's a fight that you really can't win. You're not that. This dude is good with the words. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see who lost the fight. Words don't win the fight.
Yeah, words don't win the fight.
But
especially when you try your best to stay in your mental, and that's why I say, like with Floyd, it's different because he stayed in his mental zone, whereas we seeing Wilder get a little bit thrown off by trying to come back with something, and now you probably pulling out a dictionary like, wait a minute.
Yeah, trying to prove and do that. We're not looking at you to be an intellect.
No, we're not.
We don't respect you for that.
No, we respect you for the fight. Yeah,
the heart and what you in this ring doing. So don't get caught up into that because that's not your realm right now, brother. It's not your realm.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
When you look at somebody like Andre Ward, he's not like a big brass talker. His talk comes in the ring,
Yeah.
I mean, he probably could try, but I mean, he knows that's not his lane, so he'll just say, "Wait till we get to fight night."
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is, I do love his personality. He's a colorful heavyweight champion. Boisterous. I mean, a lot of times he's laughing and smiling and acting crazy, having a good time. So I do love what he's bringing. To the game. So, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad, and right now I'm seeing more good out of him for me personally that, I like the way he's representing the sport.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely do because I don't feel like he's doing any negative.
Yeah, it's not.
He's not bringing any negative energy. He's just bringing the person he is.
Who he is.
I mean, I think people are so bent up to seeing, mug shots of champions all the time, or getting into whatever it is, something with clubs, any type of situation that fights, little altercation. People are used to seeing that or, putting that together with like a champion, but he's not giving them that. That's what makes them kind of mad,
Yeah.
Sometimes when they're not giving them that, they're trying to feed that fire and they want to see you do that. So then they can say, I knew it,
Absolutely.
But yeah, I like him too, man. Like I said, I like the same thing. Like, he's just a guy living his life and being the champion.
Being a champ.
But, we're going to see how this plays out Saturday night, man. Predictions. What you thinking, man? How this going to end? How will this go and how will it end?
Wow, this is a tough one. But, at the end of the day, I'm a Wilder fan and I'm gonna have to rock with my boy by KO. I'm thinking, middle to late rounds that he'll get the stoppage. Eventually, that right hand is going to touch him, and he may survive one, he may survive two, but how many can he survive? So it's just a matter of that. Like I said, we seen Tyson Fury drop by Steve Cunningham. I'm not saying he don't got a chin because I do think he has a chin, but we know what this right hand can do. You know what I mean? So
yeah, multiply like Steve Cunningham's right hand by like
why you gotta go there?
30. Multiply that by like 35. That's what it's gonna look like whenever Wilder gets hit, but he ain't gonna get up.
Oh god, why? He said multiply Steve Cunningham right hand by 30 times, and then that's gonna be one bronze bomber right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that and that's not guaranteeing anything, but that's just something that, I saw to say with Dag, that guy, he planted him. It wasn't like a flash. He put him on his his butt cheeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, like I say, that's my feelings on that one. And mid to late round stoppage by, Deontay Wilder.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with straight up knockout by probably like round 7 or something.
Round 7.
Because I feel like, first of all, people got to understand that Tyson Fury, he is a good, elusive boxer, but he still hasn't faced nobody like Wilder. He hasn't been touched by anybody like Wilder. They have to understand that the Klitschko fight was a whole different type of fight.
Yeah.
He was fighting a superior technical fighter. Now, Tyson Fury, he gave him a different look, and he did what he had to do against that technical fighter because he didn't know how to step out of his realm. Wilder knows how to step out of his realm. That's all he does is step out of his realm. He's not jab, holding like Klitschko.
No,
he's here. He's here. He's there.
Yeah.
That right
All over
hand
the
is
place.
somewhere, but it's going to land. And I think that Tyson Fury, out of his, his 27 fights, he ain't faced nobody like that. He hasn't faced a style like that. And I think that's, I can't say it's his downfall because there's nobody to fight like that,
Right.
But him being this big target, I feel like it's definitely going to be a lot easier for him to land on him than it was for Wilder to land on Luis Ortiz. Because, Luis Ortiz was kind of compact, could kind of get in and out, don't have the same type of movement that Tyson Fury has.
Style,
but, and something about Luis Ortiz just seemed a little bit more intimidating to Tyson Fury, man. You know what I mean? Like,
you mean
when he fought Wilder.
You mean Ortiz being more intimidating?
Yeah, he's more intimidating.
Yeah,
he's more intimidating. That's why it just seemed like I felt like he did have the more of a chance to knock Wilder out than Tyson Fury had to even come close to beating Wilder.
Yeah, because Tyson Fury, he might not get bit. He comes off as a goofy, big goofy guy.
I know things change when you get in the ring, but even his energy in the ring is still not intimidating
It's
me.
not, even when he's winning fights and they showing his highlights, it's still like funny. You know what I'm saying?
It might be frustrating. A box can be frustrating, but he can't be always intimidating. You know what I mean? Like Calzaghe, he was frustrating to me. He didn't seem intimidating.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very, very good point. Exactly. He wasn't the guy who had you shaking. You thinking, man, this dude throw 100 punches around. I'm gonna have to deal with something, but I'm not scared of him at all. I'm not. There's no fear. Exactly.
It's like bees come at you, but Wilder, fighting Luis Ortiz, that was more like a pit bull coming at you, So I just think that right there, Wilder, he does have that edge in the mental battle. He's not going to be intimidated by anything he brings as far as like his power or strength. He's more going to be focused on him trying to box him. And I think this is going to kind of play in his favor where Wilder's going to be Fury in this fight and Fury is going to be Klitschko. He's the closest thing to being more of a textbook fighter. So Wilder's going to step out of that realm and kind of give him a different look. Same way he gave Klitschko a different look. And that's when that right hand's going to knock his ass out, man.
If I was Tyson Fury, I wouldn't be trying to really necessarily box with him. Well, definitely not at a distance. I would try to make it a kind of tight fight and put that weight on him and weigh him down and do some different things that.
You think he got inside game like that?
He might not have, but that's safer than staying in the firing range.
you said there, you gotta do something.
I mean, because we know that right hand is most dangerous fully extended. So you stand anywhere out in that realm, it's not safe. You know what I mean? So I mean, at least in the inside, you could smother him, you could tie him up, you could do some things, but at least the first half, maybe try to. Weigh him down, putting that weight on him. That's the main thing to weigh him. He's small, heavyweight, got them little legs, put that weight on him and weigh him out that way. I mean, he got to work every angle. He got to work every angle. The boxing ain't gonna be enough.
You think inside game's gonna benefit him more than Wood Wilder?
It
might, right?
Yeah, I mean it would benefit him. Yeah, because I think because of the size, the mass. You know what I mean? Just that mass. I mean, he's a big man, legs. Middle, head, arms. So that's a lot to deal with. That's a lot of mass to deal with. You know what I mean? Laying on you, grabbing on you, holding you.
Yeah, I can definitely, I'll definitely can say that it would benefit him more just laying and, trying to do a little bit inside, roughing him up, because like we say, Wilder, his most danger is when his punches are fully extended.
But let's not forget that damn uppercut. That's what Victor Ortiz. I mean, but that's the chance you take with the inside game. You know what I mean? Yeah. So do you want the short range, or do you want the short range weapon?
Yeah,
or
you want to get knocked
range?
out from long range or from short. Yeah,
short range. You want the sniper rifle? How you want it?
How you want it?
The 45 or the 50 cal? What you want? So, it's just he's gonna have to get in there and be able to make those decisions on the fly. And I'm using. They both got to think in there, and you know what I mean. This ain't.
It's definitely gonna be like a thinking fight.
Yeah, this ain't a fight they can just come out winging. They had to be thinking in there.
Yeah, because neither one of them can really predict their moves. I mean, like, this ain't really like classic boxer versus puncher. Nah. This is like windmill versus
Erky jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like I say, man, even the more we talked about it and brought out different points, is definitely making it, something I want to watch. It's nothing I'm anticipating or like, yo, this is what I've been waiting for. No, not at all. I mean, I love All Access. I love the press conferences and stuff. And not that it gets me hyped for the fight. I just like seeing the backstory and different angles, and because I'm picking stuff out of all that stuff. So but this one didn't reel me in, and the only other ones that didn't really reel me in was two Spanish fighters. I forget which All Access that was, but it was all in caption and that kind of term. But other than that, I'm usually, I really like them. But this one, I watched it. I wasn't compelled to watch it though.
Yeah, to me, it could have been one episode, because like, that was the thing I said after I watched it that late night. I was just sitting there watching. I was like, I want to see more of what they're going to do and what they're doing in training. I see Tyson Fury, he got Freddie Roach in there, to kind of help out with some things, but I wasn't really getting that feel. Like, you can tell, like, when they're working, the camera's not on. Yeah. But like, I was getting the feel like they knew the camera was on every time.
Minute, it was showtime.
It was showtime all day.
And even with like some of even the more personal moments and stuff, it's like showtime. It's like, I'm a man, I'm a father. That's 24/7. I don't really have to show that to make people feel a certain way. It was just everything. I agree with that, and it was just like, 3, 2, 1, cut. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Action. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wanted to see some moments. Get
more
them
natural.
Get them alone. What are they thinking right now? I mean, we know that, like we said, a lot of the little things they're putting on the press conferences to show, but we still want to see what's on. We want to hear what's really on their mind. Yeah. What's that weight really like?
And the thing, just real quick, if Floyd really spoiled us with the 24/7s and All Access stuff, because those were his shows, and he's a showman. He loves it. You know what I mean? So we got just top-notch quality for boxing fans. Some people would think it was stupid, but from, boxing fans, we really got to see, different sides of Floyd and him open up and talk about different things that some of us didn't know about. See the relationship with his mother. We never really knew about the relationship he had with his mom.
Right.
Relationship with his father, even though we knew something about it, we actually seen it explode on camera.
Seen him,
we seen, Floyd Mayweather, talk about how he feels about his mother and his father. Just a lot of different things that was compelling for, Mayweather fans and boxing fans to just see that backside to the fighters. I mean, everybody's not a Floyd Mayweather, and everybody don't really, they told Floyd Mayweather, whatever, it's your call. You know what I mean? He came in there and took over. So, it was probably real comfortable settings for him, and he made the call on everything that he wanted or whatever. But I think he spoiled us at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, because now everybody kind of want to do that same thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're not that interested. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not that interested yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You, like I say, you want to get inside a fighter's mind who's undefeated, never been knocked down, who's accumulated all this money, who's in the news. That's interesting. I mean, in the news for good or bad, people still kind of want to, get into his mind. Even the people that hate him want to see what he's thinking about. Let me see, so they can hate on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what made that interesting, whenever you see, because like that is Floyd's character, he plays it well. Money Mayweather, but like with the Bronze Bomber and Gypsy King, we want to see something a little bit different than that because they're not flashy.
Yeah.
They're not flashy. They're just two big guys that we want to see fight.
And let me tell you another thing too, hey, with Deontay Wilder. I love him to death, like I said, I'm a big fan, but he was out there with the guns. I wouldn't feel safe out there with him. Did you see that scene?
Which scene?
Was it the All Access when I think he had the report out there and he was showing him his guns. He had a rocket launcher in his hand. Deontay Wilder, and then he went in his dip in his waist and pulled out like a 50 caliber, but he was just just waving at the dude. I don't play with guns like that. You know what I mean?
No,
he got a rocket launcher in his hand and pull out another gun like, yeah, man, we be shooting all the time. You know what I mean?
No.
I was like, dude, please don't blow nobody. You got a damn rocket launcher. What are you doing, man?
Man, you make it sound like a Looney Tunes cartoon. I'm old, like a.
It was the weirdest thing. I'm like, what is he holding? He got a damn rocket launcher. What? I mean, it was just a cylinder. You put the thing you see in war. He got it in his hand like it's a damn.
Yeah. I must have missed that. That just lets you know. I got up a couple of times in there.
So, I mean, but that could have been because everybody got their versions of. The coverage of this fight. So that could have been another thing. Because I was watching all that stuff. It could have been, on another excerpt of a show covering it or whatever. But it was one scene where, I guess he's a gun level. But the way he had a 50 caliber in his waist.
Was a rocket launcher loaded too, man?
I don't know. He just had it in one hand. Yeah. And the way he pulled the 50 caliber out of his waistline, like, he was in the streets somewhere. I'm thinking, dude, that thing need to be in the holster. It's huge. Why are you? I didn't feel safe.
Not a holster. It was just in his.
In the middle. He put it up right here. Nobody got a holster right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Wow.
But that goes back to it was 3, 2, 1, action.
Yeah. Go back to action.
I'm ready. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I mean, it's all good. It's all good for TV. I'm not bashing him, but the dude who was interviewing him, I feel bad for him because I'd have been a little nervous because
that thing could have gone.
Yeah,
off.
What? A 50 caliber ain't that's your arm or your leg. That ain't nah. So he just got it all cavalier, waving it around. I said, "Oh God," you know what I'm saying? He already knocked out the damn
the mascot.
Yeah, the mascot. Yeah, that's all he need to do is shoot somebody with a rocket launcher.
Or shoot himself, man. Come on, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. They just sometimes when they try to play into the camera too much, it just don't work. It just don't work.
I mean, and the thing about Floyd, he was a natural for it. Everybody's not a natural.
Yeah.
He was a natural for working the camera. You know what I mean? So,
man. That's just funny, man. The rocket launcher.
Yeah, dude, I swear, I wish I could find it right now so you can see it. Yeah,
okay.
Dude, yes.
Yes, you got to send that to me because I don't know if it was that All Access, but. Yeah, man, as far as our prediction, man, definitely got to pick Wilder by mid round, like knockout. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, man. I think that, Fury is going to, score a few rounds. I think he's going to, get his boxing in. But like I said, he's just so much of a big target that right hand's going to land eventually. And, they're going over techniques. They're going over training. They're going over that thing over and over. They're not just going to depend on the right hand, hopefully, but they're trying other things too,
Right.
So I know eventually it's going to land, man.
Another interesting thing too, and is like, I'm sure I know they had sparring partners, but who do you really get to emulate Tyson Fury? Or who does he really get to emulate Deontay Wilder? Right. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see what type of sparring work that they did have because. Like you say, both of these guys got interesting styles and like body styles.
Yeah, you don't really have like a set style that they're gonna bring to the table. Like Wilder doesn't really throw it the same way he always does, and Fury's not boxing the same way he always does. So that's gonna be interesting, man. Real quick, I told you Luis Ortiz, he's fighting Travis Kaufman on the card.
Okay.
think Travis Kaufman, he's okay, but I feel like this is just a stay busy fight for Luis Ortiz. He's still not on his level. So I think going in that fight, I think that's going to be probably like a fourth round knockout for Luis Ortiz, man.
Yeah, Lewis, I mean, he's getting close to the end of his career, and I think he motivated to go out and put some big names on his resume and get some big paydays before it's all over. So I think he'll be a bit much for Kaufman and wind up. I think he'll probably wind up getting a stoppage. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is actually his second fight back since the Wilder knockout.
Yeah.
So since then, he ain't really showed no rust, though, man. So
because his other one was a knockout, a brutal knockout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, coming back, doing what he's supposed to do.
And like I said, Kaufman, I've seen some of his fights, and I just kind of feel like he got that barroom brawler style, kind of heavy. For 33, he's really heavy, like in the midsection. And I think that Luis Ortiz going to be able to kind of tee off. Luis Ortiz, they say he's 39, but I think he's a little bit older, but he still has another level to him. He had many levels over Travis Kaufman.
Absolutely.
So I just feel like this is the fight that he's going to try to get him back in that Wilder rematch, man.
Yeah.
If Wilder wins, man. So.
And I mean, Ortiz, you're still talking about an older man who has a very preserving boxing style, the Cuban style, and then it's a guy who hasn't took a lot of punishment due to that style. So he's older, but I mean this guy's still dangerous.
He's dangerous,
no
man.
Question. I mean he had Wilder pretty much in the most danger we've seen him in so far. So
AJ didn't fight him. Shoot.
Yeah,
he was his mandatory.
Nobody really wanted to fight him. To be honest, it was crazy.
Yeah, but I picked him by knockout in his fight. Jerry Hurd, he's coming back against Jason Wellborn from Britain.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a stay busy fight.
Yeah.
So kind of test his shoulder out. So I pick him to win.
Yeah,
it might be a decision. Maybe depending on how the shoulder looks. But I think he's just a better boxer than what I've seen from Jason Wellborn. I've seen a few of his fights. He was on that Pavek and AJ card.
Okay.
He kind of a basic boxer. I don't see him posing any threat to Hurd though, man.
Yeah.
Because Hurd, he's still saying it, man. He's like, I want that Jermell Charlo fight.
He motivated right now, man.
And you don't hear that too much from many guys, So he's like, there was something he said too in one interview. He was like, after they saw how I beat Trout, he was like, I didn't hear from him as much, because he said he did it in better fashion than they did, than Jermell did, and he was like, I ain't heard from him since. So we're gonna see how that play out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we like. That smoke, ain't.
Exactly, man.
No, we like that fire.
We like
not just the smoke.
We like
the smoke
the fire.
Is the talk. The fire is the fire.
Is it? Yeah.
So
yeah, and there's not too many people that like to get burned.
Exactly.
So that's real, man. Donna Stevenson versus Alexander Govzdik. How many Alexanders we got, man? At first it was Sergey. Now it's
a popular name. Now
it's almost like in America. What's a popular name in America besides was it Josh or something like David?
Yeah.
That's what Alexander is
between
in the Ukraine.
Alexander and Dmitry. Yeah. I mean.
Sergey.
Sergey. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've seen Alexander, a few times, and kind of like a big Lomachenko. Throws a lot of punches for a light heavyweight, man. So it's gonna be something different, man. I think Adonis Stevens is gonna have his hands full because that last fight against Badu Jack was a draw.
Yeah.
Dude's 41 years old now.
Yeah.
So I think he has a puncher's chance, that left hand, and just his overall experience. But it's really tough to say, man. How far along you think Adonis Stevenson have left in it, man?
Yeah. Well, first off, I'm not real familiar with what's his name, man.
Govzdik.
Also, yeah. How you say it?
Govzdik.
I can't even say it, Ant.
That's good.
I ain't too familiar with him, but Adonis Stevenson, I'm kind of like over him, to be honest. I mean, we didn't really see him in the fights we wanted to see him in for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's 41. I mean, we probably won't see him in the fights that we really want to see him in. And then do we want to see him in these fights at 41, 42 years old? So, I kind of just, he's not my favorite fighter. If he wins, I mean, what next if he wins? I mean, it's not really. It's not really. I mean, is he going to fight a fight that we want to see next?
Right. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's how it kind of felt when this fight was announced. Like, I'm glad he was taking it, but at the same time, I was like, when you beat Chad Dawson all those other years, you never really got in there with the Kovalevs, the Wards, even the Lito Alvarez, knocked Kovalev out. You didn't give us that fight, which probably would have been a good, tough fight for you a few years ago, but it's like now you taking these tough fights and you 41. Badu Jack. Yeah. Couldn't beat him. That was a draw. Like you said, this might be his toughest fight in a while because he was decorated amateur and he's 6'3". He's 10 years younger. He's knocked out guys that Kovalev couldn't knock out. So I mean he has these common names that both of the Kovalev and Adonis Stevenson have. So it kind of makes you think about that. Look at all that. I mean. I think that Stevenson has that puncher's chance, that left hand lands because that Gvozdyk, his chin might be a little suspect. I see him get dropped in one fight, so it's kind of fun. It's going to be interesting to see how he react to that left hand of Stevenson. But, will you be able to land it, man?
Yeah.
So if I had to pick, man, I might lean towards Stevenson by a close decision. His experience, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Gvozdyk win, man.
All right, but I don't really know what's gonna happen, man. I'm gonna rock with what you said, man, and give Adonis the benefit of the doubt and say he'll make it to 12 rounds. But I don't know, man. The way you was talking about this kid, he sounded like he might be the truth, man, or might give him the business anyway.
Yeah.
Like you said, he got that puncher's chance, but the stuff that you say about this guy, I mean, he puncher's chance. I mean, punches can be nullified,
Yeah. I say he, does have the goods because I seen him in there with those guys, but I'm still trying to give Stevenson that, that benefit of the doubt because, he got experience, and, he hadn't been knocked down since that Fonfara fight, a while back, so. But this is step up in competition, so the knockdown might come, So
see,
we're gonna see, man. But that's what I'll lean towards, man. But I think that's all I got on this, man. We got enough damn fights to watch, right?
Yeah.
So
we loaded up this weekend.
We loaded up, man. But was there anything else you want to say? We wrap this up, man.
No, man. That's it. Like I say, this wasn't a big fight. I was screaming to get made or whatever, but. Here it is a few days away and, after talking about it and, watching the all accesses and stuff like that, I'm getting more and more interested. Not super excited. I mean, I ain't getting the butterflies. Certain fights I get butterflies and I'm getting a whole nother feeling. I'm not getting that feeling right now, but I am looking forward to seeing them fight Saturday though, man.
Yeah, I think all in all, just having all of these fighters on the card is going to make it an interesting card. You know what I mean? Like overall, it's just going to be a good card. But like you said too, like it wasn't the fight the fans wanted in the heavyweight division. Not with AJ still around. With two guys in the game. But this will hold us off till then, man. But yeah, man. I guess we'll go ahead and close this one out. Like I always say, just make sure y'all subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. And y'all can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Got still growing, man. 3,500 people on Facebook still following. I appreciate that. I know P does, right?
Yeah, that's major for us. I mean, it's for us. It's major.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, so just keep on following, keep on listening, man. Like always, I'm named Combo Breaker 99.
It's your boy Boxing P.
I'm about to sign out. Peace.
Later.